Ned Stark does not give Cersei the warning that destroys him. After tracing Jon Arryn's final investigation through the Book of Lineages, Robert's bastards, Gendry at Topo Mott's forge, Barrow in the brothel, and the old Baratheon pattern of black hair, Ned goes straight to the king. He does not dress it up as court suspicion. He tells Robert that Joffrey, Myrcella and Tommen are Jaime Lannister's children. Robert's first reaction is rage, but the second is humiliation. This means Cersei mocked him in his own bed. Jaime wore a white cloak while fathering heirs behind his back, and Tywin's blood nearly inherited the Iron Throne through a lie. Ned tries to keep the room controlled. He shows the evidence, names Stannis as the man who had already followed the same trail with Jon Arryn, and warns Robert that one uncontrolled order could turn the West against the crown. Robert hears caution, but he tastes war. The truth reaches him before Cersei can seize the story, and that one timing change destroys the Lannister coup before it begins. Hello everyone, and welcome to Storyteller's Codex. Here we delve deep into the rich lore of the Lord of the Rings, a song of ice and fire, and the vast worlds beyond, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. Cersei moves too late. Jaime has already fled King's Landing after attacking Ned in the streets, so she has no sword beside her and no trusted twin to force a path through the city. Tywin is still in the west. The gold cloaks can be bought, but buying them takes time, and Robert is still king with Barristan Selmy, Ned Stark, and loyal household guards moving first. Cersei tries to secure Joffrey, Myrcella and Tommen, but every gate, stable and river landing is watched before she can vanish. She's arrested inside the Red Keep with the children under guard. Robert wants a clean slaughter. Ned stops that part by arguing that the children are innocent of their birth and more useful alive than dead. Barristan supports the restraint because killing children in the Red Keep would echo the worst shame of the rebellion. Robert removes them from the line of succession and has Ned and Barristan witness the written order naming Stannis heir until Robert fathers true-born child. Cersei becomes a condemned traitor, and the children become living proof. Robert does not sit in King's Landing waiting for ravens to settle the matter. Cersei's arrest gives him the truth, but Tywin's reaction will decide whether the realm obeys it. Ned wants to secure the capital, summon Stannis, question Pyel, and force the Western Lords to answer a legal charge. Stannis wants the order proclaimed cleanly because the law now points to him. Renly sees the danger immediately and starts speaking to men who prefer charm over Stannis' hard justice. Robert listens to all of them and chooses the most Robert answer possible: war. He calls the banners and rides west before Tywin can turn denial into a stronger position. The Stormlands answer quickly. Ned sends commands north and to River Run, warning Robb and the Tullys that the Riverlands may be the first place Tywin strikes. Robert means to smash the Lannisters before they can rescue Cersei, deny the incest, or put Joffrey forward as a stolen king. The crown still has the throne, but Robert is already treating the crisis like another rebellion. Tywin cannot accept the accusation even if he knows the truth. Admitting it destroys everything he built. Cersei becomes a traitor, Jaime becomes an oathbreaker, an incestuous father. The children become bastards, and House Lannister becomes the house that tried to steal the royal succession. So Tywin denies the whole charge and makes the denial violent. Jaime's attack on Ned is recast as a response to Stark provocation. Cersei's arrest becomes the act of a drunken king, manipulated by his northern hand. Joffrey, Myrcella and Tommen are described as royal children held hostage by enemies of their mother's house. Tywin sends Gregor Clegane, Amory Lorch and raiders into the Riverlands to force Hoster Tully and Edmure into crisis before Stark and royal strength can arrive. Jaime gathers Western Knights near the Golden Tooth and the road into the hills. Tywin does not need to prove innocence yet. He needs smoke, blood, and enough fear that undecided lords start wondering whether the truth is worth enforcing. Robert reaches the west like a warhammer thrown from the capital. He still has the body that killed Rhaegar, even if age, wine and rule have made him slower. At the Golden Tooth, the Crown's army meets Lannister strength before the wider realm has fully chosen sides. Ned tries to keep Robert behind command, but Robert sees Lannister banners and charges into the fight, like the Trident has returned. For a time, it works. Stormlords drive into the western line, royal knights rally around the king, and Jaime's forward forces are pushed back by the sheer violence of Robert's assault. But Tywin is not offering a single perfect enemy for Robert to kill. There is no prince in ruby armour waiting in the river. There are disciplined spears, crossbowmen, Gregor's brutal reserves, and commanders willing to trade men for the king's blood. Robert breaks part of the field but takes wounds he cannot ride away from. The crown wins ground, the Lannisters fall back in order, and Robert Baratheon dies before he can turn victory into settlement. Robert's death should have rescued the Lannisters, but Ned keeps the most dangerous piece alive, the Order. Robert named Stannis heir before the march, and Ned Stark and Barristan Selmy witnessed it. The children were removed from succession before the king died. Cersei was already under arrest. That gives Stannis a legal claim stronger than rumour, stronger than family gossip, and stronger than the private letters that might otherwise be dismissed. Ned sends sealed copies to Dragonstone, Riverrun, Winterfell, Storm's End, and the Great Houses. Barristan's name matters because he is not a Stark man and not a Baratheon brother seeking profit. The Lannisters answer with their own story. Robert was drunk, manipulated, poisoned by Ned's lies, and dragged into an unlawful war against his own queen's blood. Joffrey is presented as the wronged prince, Cersei as the imprisoned queen, and the Golden Tooth as proof of Stark Baratheon aggression. The realm now has documents, witnesses, hostages, and a dead king no one can question. Stannis declares himself king from Dragonstone with the fury of a man who believes the law has finally caught up to everyone else. Ned backs him because Robert's order, the incest evidence, and the succession all point in the same direction. The Northern Riverlands begin moving toward the Stannis-Ned position, especially because Tywin's men are already burning the trident. But Stannis inherits a broken crown, not a clean throne. Cersei and her children are prisoners in King's Landing. Robert is dead. The Lannisters are in open denial. The royal army is bloodied in the west. Renly sees the gap. Many Stormlords loved Robert's style more than Stannis' law, and the Tyrells have no desire to see a grim Dragonstone court rule the realm. Mace Tyrell understands that Marjari cannot marry a dead king, but she can still become queen beside Renly. Loras pushes the dream. Highgarden offers food, numbers, and glamour. The Baratheon cause splits before the Lannisters are defeated. Ned does not become a dead martyr, so Robb's war forms differently. Robb is ordered south as the heir of Winterfell, not crowned as king in the north. His task is to reinforce the Riverlands, defend Riverrun, and support Stannis' claim under Ned's authority. That keeps the Northern Rage disciplined for longer. Great John Umber may still want vengeance and glory, but Ned's living command prevents the Northern Lords from turning the war into independence. Catelyn remains tied to Riverrun's defence instead of negotiating from the grief of a widow. The Blackfish helps shape the river strategy. Edmure holds the Tully Centre while Gregor's raiders keep burning the countryside. Jaime is dangerous in the field, but he is now fighting under the shadow of the charge against him. Every battle has two layers, steel on the ground and legitimacy above it. If Robb wins, he's not just beating Lannisters. He is proving that the men accused of stealing the succession can be defeated by the same houses they tried to rule through deception. King's Landing becomes a cage full of weapons. Cersei waits under guard, Joffrey rages without a crown, Myrcella and Tommen become bargaining pieces, and Sansa remains trapped inside a city where Stark mercy is the only reason Lannister children are still alive. Stannis wants lawful judgment, but Ned insists the prisoners must not be murdered in anger. Killing them would hand Tywin the story he wants. Renly wants distance from the ugliness, because his claim depends on looking like relief from both Lannister corruption and Stannis severity. Varys listens to every faction and sees a realm weakening itself into the shape he prefers. Littlefinger understands that truth has become a currency. He can sell pieces of it to Stannis, Renly, the Vale, or the Lannisters, depending on which move creates the most chaos. Barristan remains one of the few clean witnesses in the capital, which makes him valuable and dangerous. The city has no secure king, no trusted queen, and no harmless hostage. Robert wanted one final simple answer. Expose Cersei, ride west, smash Tywin, and force the realm to obey the truth. Instead, he dies after creating proof but before creating order. That is the real disaster. Stannis has the law, Ned has the evidence, and Barristan has the honour to make the order believable. Renly has the better smile, the Tyrells, and the kind of court Robert's old supporters would rather follow. Tywin has the west, Jaime, gold, and a denial he can defend only with blood. The Riverlands burn because they sit between the claims. The North marches because Ned still commands it. The Vale hesitates behind Lysa's fear and Littlefinger's calculations. Dawn watches Gregor's name return to the centre of power and remembers Aelia. Robert's survival long enough to hear the truth prevents Cersei's clean coup, but his death at the Golden Tooth prevents a clean settlement. Westeros now knows the secret. The problem is that everyone powerful has a different reason to use it. If you're interested in The Lord of the Rings or A Song of Ice and Fire, click one of the links on the screen to dive deeper into the lore. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you next time.